So students, in our last class we were learning chapter body fluids and circulation. We will continue. Body fluids and circulation. So if we have to recap what we have learnt in last class, just see what we have learnt in last class. We'll do recap. In our last class we have learnt blood grouping. Even though blood looks same in all the organisms, but difference is there with blood group, because there are two types of blood grouping. One is called ABA grouping, ABO blood grouping, and other one is RH grouping. ABO blood grouping means to know whether blood group is A, B, AB or O. We have learnt with the table in last class. A means on the outer membrane of RBC, antigen A is present, then it is A. If antigen B is there, then it is B blood group. If both A and B are there, then it is AB. If no A, no B, then it is no antigens, then it is O. Then RH factor means it is one more antigen present on the membrane of RBC, red blood corpuscle. It looks same like antigen present on RBC of rhesus monkey. So rhesus monkey starts with letters RH, so they call it as the rhesus factor. If that antigen is there on RBC outer membrane, if that antigen is there, RH antigen, then it is called RH positive. If it is not there, then it is called RH negative, what we have learned. Then we have learned that mixing of RH negative and RH positive blood group should not happen. One medical condition we have discussed, that is called erythroblastosis fetalis, if you remember. That is, during pregnancy, if mother has negative blood group, RH negative, her baby has positive blood group, then during first delivery nothing happens, because mother's blood and baby's blood will be completely separated by placenta. Mixing doesn't happen. But during delivery, when they cut placenta, there are chances of mixing of baby's blood with the mother's blood. So if it mixes, then mother's blood starts producing antibodies against baby's blood group. So during second delivery, what happens? The antibodies produced by the mother will start killing red blood corpuscles of the fetus, and it causes severe jaundice and anemia, and baby will die because of death of red blood corpuscles. That condition is called erythroblastosis fetalis. I told you what is the meaning. Erythro means erythrocytes, red blood corpuscles. Blastosis means rupture of RBCs. Fetalis means it is a red blood corpuscle which is ruptured in a fetus, baby. Baby's red blood corpuscle is ruptured. So erythroblastosis fetalis. How to avoid that condition? By giving what type of injection they give. That is, what type of injection? It is anti-RH antibodies. Anti-RH antibodies injection will be given, so that mother doesn't produce. When to give this injection? Soon after first delivery. When mother delivers first baby, soon after that there are chances of mixing of baby's blood with mother's blood. So soon after first delivery they give this injection. That is, anti-RH antibodies will be given, so that mother doesn't produce antibodies against that baby's blood, so that second delivery is safe. Okay, this is what we have learnt. Today we are going to learn about clotting of blood, clotting or coagulation of blood. Clotting or coagulation of blood. The ರಕ್ತ ಹೆಪ್ಪುಗಟ್ಟುವುದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ, how bleeding stops. Okay, ರಕ್ತಸ್ರಾವ ಹೇಗೆ ನಿಲ್ತದೆ, how bleeding stops, that we will see. Okay, so we know that for clotting of blood, one of the formed element is required, solid component, that is platelets. blood platelets are required. Blood platelets contain, they are also called thrombocytes. Why they are called thrombocytes, you will come to know now. Thrombocytes, they are required. And in what number they will be present? 1,50,000 to 3,50,000 platelets will be there per cubic millimeter of blood. No, cubic millimeter or cubic millimeter of blood. That is what we have learnt. No? So how it helps for clotting? If there is a if there is a cut, small cut or resulted in wound, if suppose wound is there, a small cut, like I'll take knife or blade and I'll cut myself here, then blood starts oozing out, bleeding starts. Then after some times I see that bleeding stops. Okay, there one reddish brown color patch is produced. Later it becomes dry, that is called clot, blood clot, or it is called coagulum. Okay, that is reddish brown scum is produced, patch. Wherever there is wound, after some times bleeding stops, and wherever bleeding stops, it produces a reddish brown patch, that is called scum, or it is also called coagulum or clot. Wherever cut is there, it produces reddish brown patch there. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂಥರ ರೆಡ್ಡಿಶ್ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಪ್ಯಾಚ್ ಥರ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಟ್. ಓಕೆ, coagulum or clot. What exactly happens? Whenever there is a cut or bleeding, the tissues present there, okay, they will start synthesizing variety of chemicals. What is that variety of chemicals? Not single chemical, it is cascade of enzymes are produced. Cascade means, step by step, one after the other, so many enzymes are produced. So what are those chemicals produced? We will see now. Okay, injury or trauma stimulates platelets in the blood to release many factors. See, one by one we will learn. Any injury is there, okay, or any trauma or injury. Okay, suppose suddenly some injury happened. Suppose I fell here and bleeding started. That time what happens? The injury area, what is there? The area of injury, okay, it will stimulate platelets. Stimulate means it will make platelets to release variety of chemicals. Many chemicals are released by platelets. Okay, many chemicals are released by platelets. In that many chemical, one important chemical is important substance produced in the plasma of blood. In plasma of blood, one important chemical is produced, that is called prothrombin. Important chemical called prothrombin. That's why see the name thrombocytes, because platelets produce variety of chemical substances, that is called prothrombin, thrombin, so it is called thrombocytes. Okay, because cyte, cyte, cyte means cell which produces thrombin, prothrombin, so it is called thrombocytes. Okay, so what is happening here? Step by step, once again we will see. Suppose there is a wound, okay, or injury, that will make platelets, it will stimulate platelets, or other words we can say it will tell platelets to release variety of chemicals. First chemical released is called prothrombin. Okay, prothrombin, and prothrombin is inactive substance, a prothrombin is converted to active thrombin. By enzyme called thrombokinase. Okay. So what happened there? Wherever there is injury, platelets are stimulated and platelets produce variety of chemical. First chemical produced is chemical produced in the plasma of blood, that is called prothrombin. Prothrombin is inactive form. Prothrombin is converted to thrombin by enzyme thrombokinase. Okay, then one inactive substance is present in the plasma, that is called fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is inactive chemical produced in the plasma. So next chemical produced is fibrinogen, that is in the inactive form, and inactive fibrinogen is converted to active chemical called fibrin, which is active chemical. For this, for conversion of inactive fibrinogen to active fibrin, this thrombin helps. So why thrombin is produced, then you understood now. I repeat, okay, wherever there is injury, that cells present near the wound or injury area will make platelets to release variety of chemicals. First chemical produced is prothrombin, then prothrombin is inactive, then prothrombin is converted to thrombin by enzyme thrombokinase. Then this thrombin produced here will make inactive fibrinogen to produce fibrin. Okay, then fibrin, what it does? Fibrin is a thread-like material, like this. It's a thread-like material. Suppose here at this area wound is there, this is a wound area. Okay, if that fibrin is produced, it's a thread-like structure, and by producing many thread-like structures, it will block blood flow like this. It will block that area by producing many threads, and these threads are called fibrin. So fibrin will block that area, because fibrin, when it is exposed to air, it becomes dry. You know, you see that first it will be like watery, then it becomes dry, then it becomes dark brown in color. First, when bleeding stops, at that area of wound there will be a reddish brown color scum is produced. It is called clot or coagulum. You see here I have written, it is called coagulum or clot. So wherever fibrin thread is produced, the fibrin threads will be produced in many number, okay, one over the other, then it blocks that area, and that area is called clot or coagulum. Okay, so by producing this fibrin, active fibrin material, it blocks that area of wound so that bleeding stops, blood flow stops there, because the fibrin threads will block flow of blood, so it stops. This is how coagulation or clotting of blood will happen. Okay, so next part what we are going to learn is, I told you blood is not the only connective tissue, liquid connective tissue present there. One more is there. For transportation of materials, transport materials means which materials? Like minerals, nutrients, then hormones are transported through blood, and some of the materials are transported through one more liquid fluid connective tissue, that is called lymph. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ರಕ್ತ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಲಿಂಫಿಗೆ ದುಗ್ಧ ರಸ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಲಿಂಫ್ ನೋ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್. ಲಿಂಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್. ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕಲರ್. ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ blood, red blood corpuscles give red color because hemoglobin pigment is present. White blood corpuscles are colorless. This is different. This is called lymph. one more fluid present in the body which is helpful for transportation of nutrients, minerals, hormones, all that, and absorption of fat, giving immunity, all that is because of lymph. So it is important, we have to learn. Lymph. You know, when blood is flowing through blood vessels, some water-like substance, you know that 90 to 92% of blood is only water. Some water-like substance, okay, and water-soluble substances will leak from the blood vessel. It will come out of the blood vessel, but proteins doesn't come out. See, for your imagination, I will draw. Suppose this is a blood vessel, okay, or blood capillary. In blood capillaries or blood vessels, yes. Suppose blood is flowing here, okay, in the blood vessel. Some of the water-like substance, okay, watery substance and water-soluble substances will leak. Water soluble materials and water will leak out. Okay, then what happens? And these leaked out water like materials will be stored in between the cells. In between the cells, like you take, suppose this is a cell and this is one more cell, this is one more cell, 3 cells are there, nucleus. Okay, in between the cells gap is there, no? That is called intercellular space. Name only says inter means in between, cellular means in between 2 cells what gap is there, space is there, that is called intercellular space. In this intercellular space there will be lymph, because this leaked out material, what is there, water and water soluble substances which will leak out from the blood vessel, only blood will flow, water and water soluble substances will leak out. Okay, that leaked out material will be stored in between the cells. Okay, so these stored water and water like substances in between the cells, okay, that we call lymph. We call it as lymph. Lymph is colorless. It doesn't have a color. Okay, so why it is required? It is, and what this fluid is called as? It is called lymph, or it is called interstitial fluid, or it is called tissue fluid. It is called interstitial fluid or tissue fluid because it is present between the cells, and group of cells is called tissue fluid because it is a liquid or fluid present in the tissue in between the cells. Okay, I repeat once again. When blood is flowing through blood vessel, water and water like substances will leak out, and that leaked out material is only called lymph. Okay, so leaked out material will be stored in between the cells in the tissue, so it is called interstitial fluid or tissue fluid or lymph. Like how blood flows through blood vessels, lymph flows through lymphatic vessels. Okay, so blood flows through blood vessels. ಅಂದರೆ ರಕ್ತ ನಾಳಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದುಗ್ಧರಸ ದುಗ್ಧ ನಾಳಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚಲಿಸ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. Means blood flows through blood vessels, blood capillaries, arteries, veins and all, but lymph flows through separate blood vessel called lymphatic vessel. Okay, and all the lymphatic vessels in our whole body, okay, is connected together, and it is a network means group of lymphatic vessel, network of lymphatic vessels. Okay, like if this is a main lymph node or lymph vessel, then it produces many branches like this, and it is supplied to whole body. You see, I am trying to give imagination in your mind. These diagrams are not there in the book, just I am telling you. Like lymph flows through all these vessels. It's a network, group of vessels. Like blood vessel means what comes in your mind? Whole body has blood, so blood vessel, there are many millions of vessels are there here. I mean, it is almost spreaded throughout the body. Okay, so like that, lymph also spreads to the body, and lymph flows through lymph vessels or lymphatic vessels. So together, all the lymph vessels together, it's a network of lymphatic vessels. What is the function of this lymph? Like blood is required for transportation of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients and all, like that. Lymph is also required for transport of nutrients, between the cells. Like here I am showing here, suppose this cell requires nutrient, then that nutrient is transported here to the cell. Suppose this cell requires, then the nutrient will be transferred to this cell. So transport of nutrients, then transport of hormones, etc. Means many other materials also. Nutrients, food, then hormones, and many other chemical substances are transported through lymph. Then lymph also provides immunity, because it produces special type of lymph cells called lymphocytes. Already you know, B and T lymphocytes already we have learned, which gives immunity by producing antibodies. Now separately I will write function of work or functions of lymph. Separately I will write here. Functions of lymph. First one, for transport of materials like nutrients for the cells and hormones, etc. Means many other materials are also transported. And second is lymph produces special type of cells called lymphocytes. Special lymphocytes, which gives immunity, that is ability to resist diseases. We have immunity, we don't get diseases easily because our body has a defense mechanism. We can protect ourselves. For that, lymphocytes are required. Name only says lymphocytes. Special type of lymph cells or lymphocytes are produced, which gives immunity. So very important for transportation of material and for providing immunity. So only one small paragraph is given about lymph in the textbook. Okay, and these diagrams I have done just for your understanding, so that and you know me very well, so I'll make complex things simple, like while explaining. Some imagination is very important, because you have to get clear imagination in your mind and understand the process. No need to by heart or don't try to remember so many things. when you understand, already those things will be there in your mind. Okay, so no need to remember, it will be there in your memory. Okay, so like that. So next what we have to learn is circulatory system or circulatory pathways we have to learn. Introduction part we will learn at least today. Then in next class we will see human circulatory system in detail. Chalk. Circulatory pathways in different organisms. Okay, we'll start from simple organisms, but before that, you know that circulation is of two types of circulation. Blood circulation, two types are there, already we know in animal kingdom chapter, that is open circulatory system and closed circulatory system, already you know. Open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. What we have, human beings have closed circulatory system. No? Closed means blood flows through definite blood vessels. Definite blood vessels means heart pumps blood, and the blood pumped by the heart passes through tubes, that is blood vessels. One particular tube is there for transport. But in case of open circulatory system like what is there in mollusca, arthropoda and all, like in cockroach if you take, where heart pumps blood but there are no blood vessels, all the cells will be bathed by blood pumped by heart. Means all the cells will be waiting like this, and heart will pump blood, and blood is like sprinkling on the cells, like a shower bath, you know, like that. No blood vessels. So just like a shower, it releases water there in shower, but here heart releases blood. No blood vessels. All the cells will get wet. It will be wetted by blood pumped by heart. So heart pumps blood, and our cells will be bathed by blood. No definite blood vessels. No blood vessels. We have closed the circulatory system because heart pumps blood and blood passes through definite blood vessels like veins, arteries, capillaries, venules, all that. But in case of open circulatory system, that is not there. Okay. Then, like we know, open circulatory system is there in many organisms, like especially arthropoda and mollusca, arthropods, mollusks, and you know, open circulatory system is there in almost all invertebrates except annelids, because annelids have closed circulatory system. Annelids, Annelida, then mammals, birds, all that. If you see, this closed circulatory system, especially humans, closed circulatory system. Then types of circulatory pathways, if we see in different organisms, like all the vertebrates have muscular chambered heart. Muscular chambered heart. All the vertebrates, if you take which animals which have vertebral column or backbone, all the vertebrates have heart which is of muscular heart. Okay, heart is made of special muscles called cardiac muscles. So it is made of muscles. So it is muscular, chambered heart. It has chambers. Okay, like separate chambers, like rooms, separate rooms or chambers. Okay, like all the animals doesn't have 4 chambers. Now we will see fishes have 2 chambered heart. Fishes have 2 chambered heart, like one atrium and one ventricle, isn't it? That is an atrium and a ventricle. One only, atrium, one atrium, one ventricle. Only 2 chambers. Only 2 chambers. And they have a speciality here, that heart will carry, heart transports only deoxygenated blood. Very special type of circulation here, that heart in case of fishes, it will carry or pump only carbon dioxide mixed blood, deoxygenated blood. Then how oxygenated blood fish will get? It is very special mechanism, that deoxygenated blood when it goes to gills, deoxygenated blood when it goes to gills, gill slit is there. Now Kannada kiviru anta karite. Fishes will have one part, here it cut part, like if you remember, where it will have one part like this, like this. This is gills or gill slits. Gills, okay. Deoxygenated blood will be oxygenated in gills. Then from the gills, oxygenated blood is transported to whole body. Then from whole body, carbon dioxide mixed or deoxygenated blood comes back to heart. Then from the heart, deoxygenated blood goes to gills and gets purified in gills, means gets oxygenated in gills, and oxygenated blood goes to whole body. Here what happened, blood comes to the heart only once. So if blood comes to heart only once, then it is called single circulation. In human beings, we have double circulation, meaning blood comes to heart 2 times, because once oxygenated blood comes to left part of the heart, then next deoxygenated or carbon dioxide mixed blood comes to right part of the heart. So blood comes 2 times, twice to the heart, so it is called double circulation. But in fish, only carbon dioxide mixed blood, that is deoxygenated blood, comes to heart. Oxygenated blood doesn't come to heart at all. So blood comes only once to the heart, so it is called single circulation in fish. Single circulation, and it is also called incomplete circulation. When it will be complete circulation, when there are 4 chambers and oxygen mixed blood and deoxygenated blood is completely separated, okay, then only it is called complete circulation. But here it is incomplete circulation, single circulation. Why it is called single circulation? Because blood comes to the heart only once. Okay, I'll explain once again. Deoxygenated blood, carbon dioxide mixed blood from the heart of fish, okay, goes to gills, and gills will make it oxygenated, means gills will give oxygen to that blood, so that it is oxygenated blood. Then from the gills, oxygenated blood goes to whole body of fish. Then from the whole body, carbon dioxide mixed blood comes to heart. Then from the heart to gills, that is why blood comes only once to the heart, that is only deoxygenated blood. That is why it is called single circulation. Then what about other animals? We will see now. Fishes we learnt. What about other animals like reptiles? Reptiles have 3-chambered heart. Three-chambered heart, except crocodile. Okay, crocodile has 4-chambered heart, which is also reptile only. Crocodile has 4-chambered heart. That is exception. So reptiles have 3-chambered heart where 2 auricles, 1 ventricle. 2 auricles will be there, 1 ventricle, like this. This is 2 auricle and only 1 ventricle. See, these are 2 auricles, auricle 1, auricle 2, and only 1 ventricle. Here what happens? Oxygenated blood comes to left auricle, and deoxygenated blood comes to left ventricle. Then both the blood, oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, will be mixed in the ventricle. It is mixed. That means ventricle gets oxygenated and deoxygenated, both the blood mixed together, and mixed blood will be transported to whole body. But in case of human beings, we can't tolerate this, because if mixing of oxygen and carbon dioxide happens in a human body, then it creates breathing difficulty and we will die. But reptiles can tolerate mixing of carbon dioxide and oxygen, because their normal circulation is only like that. Reptiles' body is adapted for tolerating mixing of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the heart, where it is mixed. Carbon dioxide from right auricle, then oxygen from left auricle, both the blood will mix in the ventricle, and from the ventricle, mixed blood, that is some part of oxygen and some part of carbon dioxide, both will be transported to body. But because they can tolerate mixing of oxygen and carbon dioxide, but we cannot tolerate. So as no separate 4 chambers, mixing of blood happens in the ventricle, and separation of oxygen and carbon dioxide doesn't happen, so it is called incomplete circulation, but double circulation only. Incomplete double circulation. Why it is incomplete double circulation? Because when it becomes incomplete, all 4 chambers are there, then it is complete. Here only 3 chambers are there, so it is incomplete. And double circulation because blood comes 2 times to the heart. One is left side once blood comes, and right side once blood comes. So 1 and 2. 2 times blood comes to heart. 2 times blood comes to heart. But only problem is mixing of blood will happen in the ventricle. Mixing of carbon dioxide and oxygen, both will happen. Oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood, both will mix in the ventricle. Then mixed blood is transported to whole body, because reptiles can tolerate mixing of blood, but we cannot tolerate. Okay, it is called incomplete because all 4 chambers are not there, only 3 chambers are there. If all 4 are there, then it is complete. That's why it's incomplete. And it is called double circulation because blood comes 2 times to the heart. In case of fish, what we should call then, where blood comes only once to the heart, it is called single circulation. and it is 4 chambers are not there, so it is incomplete single circulation in fish. Incomplete single circulation in fish, but in reptiles it is incomplete double circulation. In human body it is complete double circulation. Okay, so we will see in birds, in mammals we see that it is complete double circulation. In birds, in mammals, okay, in crocodiles it is complete circulation and double circulation. Actual word of complete and incomplete is when, you know, when oxygen and carbon dioxide is separated, then it is called complete. When it is not separated, then it is called incomplete. Okay, so here in case of mammals, like human beings are also mammals only, we are mammals, so we have 4 chambers in a heart, you know, 4 chambers. Like this is 1 chamber, this is 2nd chamber, 3rd chamber, 4th chamber. 4 chambers are there. This is just an imaginary diagram. Okay, so here on the left side, this is left side. Okay, when I stand like this is my left side, this is right side. For you it looks like this is right side, but actually this is left, this is right. Okay, if you stand like this, you will come to know this is left and this is right. Okay, so this is left auricle, left ventricle, right auricle, right ventricle. 10th standard you have learnt heart structure, so you know what is auricle, ventricle. Anyway, once again we are going to learn in next class. So oxygen mixed blood comes to left auricle through pulmonary veins, then from there it goes to left ventricle, then through aorta it is transported to all the body parts. Then from all the body parts, carbon dioxide mixed blood comes to superior and inferior vena cava. Then from there right auricle it goes to right ventricle. Then through pulmonary artery it goes back to lungs. So that means, and here one dividing wall is there, that is called septum. Septa means cross wall or dividing. So the septum separates left part of the heart from right part of the heart. In the center, one dividing wall is there which separates left part of the heart with right part of the heart, so that mixing of oxygen and carbon dioxide doesn't happen here. When oxygen is only oxygenated blood in the left part of the heart, only carbon dioxide mixed blood in the right part of the heart. No mixing, because both left side and right side of heart is separated by septum in the center. So mixing of blood doesn't happen, so that it is complete circulation. It is called double circulation because blood comes 2 times to the heart. How 2 times? Left side oxygenated blood, right side carbon dioxide mixed blood. Both will come to the heart. So blood comes 2 times to the heart, so it is called double circulation. Why it is called complete circulation? Because mixing of carbon dioxide and oxygen doesn't happen, where oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood are completely separated. That's why it is called complete circulation. Okay, so in next class we are going to learn human circulatory system in detail with a diagram of heart and parts of it, all that in detail. Okay, so keep watching my classes. Thank you.